You know those moments when you love an outfit, but not what's happening underneath it? That's exactly why I created Half T. Half T is a layering essential designed to give you coverage without the bulk. No bunching, no overheating, no awkward tucking. Just clean lines, confidence, and comfort. We offer multiple sleeve lengths, colors, necklines, and our 2-inch signature band so that clothes finally work for your life. Because getting dressed shouldn't be complicated. It should feel easy, intentional, and like you. You can shop Half at halftee.com, and trust me, once you layer smarter, you'll never go back. Use code HerLayeredLife and save 15% today. Welcome to Her Layered Life, where we talk with women business owners about faith, family, business, and every relationship in between. Here's the truth. Women drive over $80 trillion in global spending every single year, yet only 2% of that goes towards women-owned businesses. What if we took it to 5%? We could change the dynamics of our economy and millions of lives. One story, one layer, one woman at a time. Because her life is layered and her influence can change the world. Today's guest is someone who embodies the mission in a very, very real way. I met her at Glacier and she instantly stood out, not just for what she's built, but how she's built it. Lindsay White is the founder of the Little Milk Bar, and she is a woman who lives her layers loudly. Entrepreneur, advocate, athlete, community leader, and unwavering supporter of other women. Lindsay, I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
So I think I DM'd you. I said,
Yeah.
Linz, will you be on my podcast? And what'd you say? Do you
I
remember?
said I've just been waiting for you to
I
ask.
know. I thought that was so cute. It was so cute because it's scary. It's scary to ask people to come be on a podcast. And
Yeah.
and I know that it's time consuming and I know that it's a sacrifice. But that was my favorite answer ever. And it just made me feel so like, oh, Linz wants to
Yes.
be on the podcast. So thank you for
Yeah.
that response. It was
Well, it's
so
fun
cute.
to do in-person ones too.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of them are in Utah, so you have to do it online and it's not as fun.
No, you're right. You're right. It's fantastic. So let's start at the beginning. I want you to take us back
Okay.
to the Little Milk Bar brand. And I want to know what was the moment of series of moments. Because this is the podcast all about layers, right? I'm just so fascinated with how we get to where we are. And I want our listeners to recognize that it really is about taking steps in those layers that make us up who we are. And they're all so important, right?
Yeah.
One layer is not any more important than the other layer. So I want you to go back. So it might be a series of moments that made you realize something needs to change and I might need to be the one that changes it.
Okay. So I'm glad you've mentioned layers because there are so many layers. There is one specific moment that made me realize that this needed to happen, but there was so much building up to that. So when I had my first daughter, Allie, I was 27, 28. I was the first of my friends to have a kid and didn't know what I was doing. I think even if you think you know, you don't know. But breastfeeding was a big part of my journey. I knew I wanted to breastfeed her for at least a year and I struggled. It was so hard. I didn't realize how hard it was and how isolating it is. So right after you have a baby, you kind of go into whether it's baby blues or postpartum depression, your hormones are crazy. You feel lonely regardless if you are or not. It's very lonely. So I just remember that time of my life was probably the hardest because every time I finally got out of the house to see friends, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I finally get to talk to an adult. We'd go to a barbecue and she'd be hungry and they'd be like, oh, you can go feed in this in my room if you want to. And I'm like, oh, great. That's great. I'll go in there and feed her. But she took so long to eat, like 45 minutes each side.
Right.
And so by the time she was done eating, we'd come out and then it would be over. And it
Right.
was time to go. And I'm like, I didn't even get to talk to anybody. Like this was so crappy.
Yeah.
So I felt so alone. It even put me more into a depression and I hated every second of it. I could not wait to be done breastfeeding. When I found out I was pregnant with my second, I made a promise to myself that I would be more confident with breastfeeding and I wouldn't let it change my life so much. And that decision changed everything for me. I felt like I was able to go on with my life. I'd be at the barbecue in the middle of a conversation with my friends and be like, hey, I just need to feed her. And I'd latch her and we'd continue on with our conversation.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, nobody cares.
Right.
So it was amazing. It changed my life. I was at a wedding with my son Coda. He was now born. He's 3 months. He was 8 months old. And I was feeding him. And my mom came over to me and she said, "Do you really think you should be doing that here? Maybe you should go to the bathroom and do that." And I remember thinking, man, if you would have said that to me 5 years ago with my other baby, I would have gotten right up, went to the bathroom, been mortified, embarrassed, in tears, feeding her, sweating in a dirty bathroom stall.
Hmm.
And instead, this time I had more confidence. So I just looked at her and I said, "No, we're comfortable where we're at." And that was it. On my drive home, I turned to my husband and I was like, "I need to start a brand that I'm the best friend for every new mom. I give them permission to feed at the table. I empower them, educate them on their rights, because so many women don't even know that it's legal to breastfeed."
Hmm.
But interesting fact, Idaho and Utah were the last two states to make it legal, and it
Oh,
wasn't until 2019.
really?
Yes.
With all these babies?
Yes, exactly.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So that's how the little milk bar was born. I just wish I had a friend that would tell me, "It's okay," like when we'd go to the restaurant, "It's okay, you can feed her here. You don't have to go into the car." Like that would have relieved so much stress
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely.
Or you don't have to use the cover because they're always pulling it down anyways. And in the summer it's hot. And it would have just made my motherhood experience completely different.
Right.
So I'm like, I need to be that best friend for everyone.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can remember uh, back, I was a very open breastfeeder. I didn't care. I really didn't. As long as I had a little, I wasn't going to let everything hang out either. But I didn't care where I breastfed.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother-in-law was so, and my mom too, was
Mm,
so concerned.
yes.
And I remember the first time I decided I was not going to the mother's lounge at church. I was like, no, what is the big deal?
Yeah.
No one's watching me.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to feed the baby here. And then I don't have to have 13 kids follow me to the mother's lounge and try,
Mhm.
anyways. And I remember uh, Tyler looking down, my husband, and he's like, "Okay." I said, "Yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done leaving."
And
So
you shouldn't
it,
have
yeah, you
to.
shouldn't have to. And it wasn't even that big a deal. It was like, oh, and nobody cares. You're
Yeah.
right. Nobody cares.
A lot of it is so built up in our head.
Right.
But then it sometimes it is our own moms, our
Right.
mother-in-laws. They were raised that way. And so, my mom was just raised that when you breastfeed, you cover yourself or you go to a private room.
Right.
And so it's really hard to kind of break those barriers, especially when you're the first one in the family to do that
Sure.
and get a little bit
And
of
I had never
backlash.
really thought about how isolating it
Mm.
was. Um, to go into a room and you'd sit there and you're right, you were already lonely. And I just had never really thought about that because I really just really remember, like the last one's not the very first
Yeah.
one. And you're right, that was an isolated time. And it was very empowering when I finally was like, I cannot show myself to the back room. Um,
Yeah.
you guys just need to
Well, and how
figure it out.
many moms are scheduling their day around their baby's feeding
Oh,
schedule? So
absolutely.
that's a big one too, is I remember, like when I was on maternity leave with my first
Uh-huh.
and I needed to go run errands, get some things done. And then I'm like trying to sit there and I'm thinking, but wait, how do I do this when I'm breastfeeding? I can't just like make her a bottle. Like I don't know. What do I do? So then that was stressful. I'm like,
Sure.
okay, I need to feed her right before we leave. And then I need to hurry and do this, and this errand before she needs to eat again. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, the stress I put myself through. It was
Sure.
just chaos and a lot more stress than it needed to be.
Right.
So that's why when I had my second and third, life was so much easier. Like
Yeah.
you just go on with your life and you breastfeed. It's not
Right.
that hard.
It's not that big a deal.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's so true. It's so true. This is something that I just have loved watching I mean, I haven't been following you forever. I've been following you for about 6 months. It was like one of those like, oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that it existed till it existed. Now I'm sad because I'm done having
Yeah.
babies. And I have a couple alley bras, but my daughters love them. And I'm like, where is the alley bra?
Uh-huh.
Right. But what I love about this story is that this wasn't just about creating a product. It really was about giving women permission and confidence
Yeah.
to be women.
Yeah. So it was really interesting when I first started because I actually started with graphic tees.
Oh,
So yeah, my first product was a milk maker t-shirt.
okay.
And I was like, hey, I want to make this t-shirt. And I remember my dad specifically saying, like, why would someone pay $32 for a t-shirt? And I'm like, it's not about the t-shirt. It's what it represents.
Yes.
And so I launched the milk maker tee, just trying to see like what people thought about it. And it sold out in 24 hours. And I was like, oh my gosh, women need this.
Yes.
So then I doubled inventory, put it out there again, and it sold in 48 hours. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. So I started making graphic tees with empowering messages that we have trademarked, like Milk Maker, um, use your voice, even if it shakes, we have your back, Cantina de leche, mind your own tits. All of these things were supposed to represent, like when moms put it on, they would message us and be like, it feels like my superwoman cape. Like
Love
I
it.
put on this t-shirt and anytime I go out and it's like I'm in Target and I need to feed my son, I get a little nervous, but then I look down at my shirt and I remind myself that I have permission to feed here and I have confidence. So I have a community of women behind me.
Mhm.
And so it's what the t-shirt represented. So it was really interesting when I'd go to business events and people would ask me, what is the little milk bar? And I would tell them, oh, we empower and educate moms to breastfeed wherever they need to with or without a cover. And they're like, well, yeah, but how do you make money? I'm like, oh yeah. Like I always just like lead with, because
Yeah.
it really was so mission based
Sure.
that I really just wanted to get the message out there so badly. And yes, we have to sell a product because that's how we live. That's
Right.
how we survive. That's how the company keeps going. But there was a moment where 3 years into my journey, I realized um, how I hit my first million with just merch. And I remember getting to a point where I was like, I want to be a brand that's around forever.
Mhm.
And merch is hard because it's so trendy and
Sure.
it goes up and down. And I'm like, this will fade eventually. How can I make sure that I'm a brand that's here for moms breastfeeding forever?
Mhm.
So I was like, I need to start bringing in some essential products. And I want us to be the brand that everyone looks to when they need anything for breastfeeding. We started taking notes from Instagram. Like anytime a mom would message us, because with our graphic tees, they weren't nursing tees or
Right.
t-shirts. They were just regular t-shirts, because that was our whole thing, is like you can feed in anything you want to. It doesn't
Sure.
have to have a zipper, like just pull up your shirt and feed.
Right.
So we educated moms on the two-shirt method. Do you know what the two-shirt method is?
No.
Okay, the two-shirt method is just where you wear a tank top underneath your regular shirt.
Okay.
So then when you're ready to feed, you pull up the bottom of your shirt and then pull down the neck of your tank. So your
Right.
belly's still covered and then your
Yeah.
top's still covered. And that just kind of helps moms ease into breastfeeding in
Sure.
public.
Sure.
So then we started getting messages. Wait, what's your favorite nursing tank? What's your favorite nursing bra? So since 2018, when I started, I have a list, an Excel spreadsheet list full of products people have been asking about.
Hmm.
So I was like, we need to start bringing these in house. And then after I had my third, Frankie, I had a hard time sleeping at night.
Hmm.
So after you have a baby and you're breastfeeding, everyone knows you don't know until you get through it, but you have to wear a bra to bed,
Mhm.
because if you don't, you wake up in a puddle of milk and you have to wear
And
nursing pads.
milk's literally in your
Yes.
armpits because you
Yes.
didn't try to keep it all
Yes.
contained.
And your
Yes.
sheets are soaked and you don't want to
Yeah.
have to wake up any more than you
No.
have to.
No. Exactly.
But all the nursing bras that were out there were uncomfortable to sleep in. They weren't meant to sleep in. They had all the straps, tight bands around your waist,
Mhm.
and so your rib cage. So I developed the alley bra,
Mhm.
and I started working on this product. And I'm like, I want this to be so comfortable. It feels like you're not wearing anything. It's easy to sleep in, and we all know you bring baby to bed and you feed in all different kinds of positions, and
Mhm.
you can't always move around because you're kind of like half asleep. So you got to be able to feed in any position. So it was really the first nursing bra on the market designed to sleep in with so much functionality. So you can pull it down. It's so stretchy. You can pull it down. You can unbutton it. But the most important part is like the band is so stretchy that you can pull up from the bottom,
Perfect.
which almost no other nursing bra you can do because it's that tight
Sure.
clasp in the back.
Yeah.
And that just took off like wildfire. So that was a very long explanation of how I got there.
I love it. No, it's great. That's exactly what it's about, right? I love highlighting women who see a gap and are brave enough to fill it. That's exactly what House of Foils has done. Founded by salon industry insiders, House of Foils creates high performance, no slip, no rip hair foils designed for professionals who work behind the chair every day. And instead of staying boring, they bring creativity into the salon with monthly limited edition foil designs that keep things fresh and fun. They're taking on legacy brands by listening to stylists and building better tools. If you're a hair professional, House of Foils is a brand worth knowing. You can learn more and shop online at House of Foils. I think that brought us together was that we were both athletes, right? I remember you coming up to me and like, oh,
Yeah.
you're a basketball coach. I want to know more about that, right?
Yeah.
So You're an athlete. I'm an athlete. You're a Division 1 softball.
D2.
D2.
Softball.
You went to Southern Utah?
Utah Tech.
Oh, Utah Tech. Yes.
Yeah.
So that whole athletic side of things, I think, plays a big part in who you are
Yeah.
as a person.
Totally.
Right? So I want to know, is that a layer that matters more than people even realize? Is that upbringing in sports and athletics, and how has being an athlete kind of shaped your resilience, your grit,
Yeah.
all those sort of things?
So that's probably more of a loaded question than you realize, because I have an interesting story about that. So I played sports my whole life. Softball has been my main thing. And I started playing basketball when I was in 9th grade. Had never even like dribbled a ball before. So when I was in high school, I realized I wanted to go to college. And my family didn't have money to send me to college. I'd never even known anyone that had gone to college before. So this was like a pipe dream for me.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, how can I go to college with no money? And I was like, I'm kind of good at sports. Like, I could play softball. So it was like 10th grade where I had decided I am going to get really good and I'm going to get a softball scholarship because I want to play ball. So I worked my butt off. I woke up in the morning before school. I practiced during lunch. I'd practice after school, doing everything I could so I could get to that next level, especially because where I grew up, I really wanted to have a better life than what I grew up with. And the only way to get there was, in my eyes at the time, college was going to help me get there.
Mhm.
It was going to take me out of the place that I grew up with, put me somewhere else, and give me an opportunity I otherwise wouldn't have had. So I ended up working my butt off and I did get a scholarship. But the crazy thing is, I ended up getting a scholarship for softball and basketball, which was insane.
This is crazy.
So on a deep level, like that helped me, it kind of removed me from the situation I was in to be able to have bigger dreams and understand that if you work hard enough, really you can accomplish anything. And so then when you go to college, you realize sports is way harder in college than it is in high school.
Yeah.
The demand is so much more. You work your butt off, but I loved every second of it. I was so happy to be there. But after my first year, I realized you couldn't play 2 sports in college. So I quit basketball because softball is my love and I finished with softball. But the hard work, the determination, the being able to help lead a team. I played center field in softball. So you're the most vocal, you are kind of the leader out there. Being able to tell people where they need to go, when they need to be there. And then also kind of give your teammates, like when they're not doing well, you got to kind of tell them,
Yeah, sure.
So it gave me so much grit in that sense, but also really just showing up every day when you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those 5 a.m. practices. I mean, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. since I was in 10th grade, 9th grade, and so there's days you don't want to get up. There's days you don't want to go. And I'm just so used to it that it's just second nature to
Sure.
me now. So sports absolutely has contributed so much to any and all of my success, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I can say the same thing. I remember at BYU, I was so stinking sick. Like I had no voice. Like I was coughing, I had fever, like just on fire. And I called my coach. I mean, I haven't missed a practice in my entire life. And I was like, this is, and it wasn't even season. It was preseason. It was conditioning, right?
Yeah.
And I call her up and I was like, coach. Well, I was like, coach. And she's like, what? Who is this? I'm like, I'm so sick. I don't know if I can make it to conditioning. And she's like, AC, we got to have you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I showed up anyways, and I threw up, but I finished. I finished the whole darn tootin' thing. And what I realized is, as athletes, you have to do hard things even when you are at your worst.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like motherhood is like the epitome
Yes.
of like, you're bleeding, you're coughing your guts out, you're going to a garbage and puking your guts out. And guess what? No one cares.
No.
You still have to show up.
You have to be there.
You got to get up. You got to get your kids ready. They got to eat. You got to change bums and all the things. And I think about that day all the time. And I just think, wow, I am so grateful that I learned how to still get up and do hard things, even though physically, emotionally, all the things made no sense.
Yeah.
It made no
At the
sense.
time, you kinda hated it, but now that you're older, you're like, "Wow, that really taught me so much." I even like, we would practice on Christmas Eve when
Yes.
all my friends were hanging out and with their families, and you come. You
Right.
always come. And my coach was pretty strict in high school even and college, but high school, I think for high school, you have to have above a 2.0 to play,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
our coach made us had a 3.0.
Okay.
And then we also could not be tardy or
Oh, I
absent
love
from
it.
class. We also had to sit in the front 2 rows of every class.
Wow.
We also had to sit together as a team for lunch. We had a lot of rules, and
Hmm.
I hated them at the time, but now that I look back, I'm like, it was a lot of the work outside of the court that kinda helps build your character as well
Sure.
on the court.
Sure.
And so that also plays into, as a business owner, being able to show up when you don't want to, but really working on the little things that you may not think are important, but they all add up
Mm.
to how the business succeeds.
Sure. Exactness.
Yeah.
The kids get so mad because I'll make them start over if they don't touch the lines
Oh my
in
gosh,
a
yes,
ladder,
same. That's how we
right?
were
And I
we had to be
just
behind the line. 2
yes.
feet, 2 hands, and we had to touch
Oh, I
both
love wow.
behind the line.
Behind the line.
And they would watch it, and if you missed it, everyone had to start over.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes. And it's exactness. It's not cutting corners. It's touching the lines. It's being and trying your very best at everything that you do so that when it's hard, the expectation is this.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine if I always think about this too. Can you imagine if the expectation was mediocrity?
Yeah.
And then what you could
What less?
actually
Yeah.
I mean, you start at mediocrity and then you naturally go down.
Yeah.
But, I know, I feel the same way. The principles and the experiences outside of all of it. When she said, "AC, we need you," I thought, "Okay,
Yep.
this isn't about me. This is
Mhm.
about showing up and showing your teammates that, you know, even
Yeah.
though she's sick and da da da, and now the next gal that calls and says I'm sick, she can say, "Do you remember how sick AC was? And she came and
Yeah.
we need you there too." So it's
Yep.
setting that standard and that example too of what it looks like to be great at whatever you want to do. Do you remember we were all at the airport and you were sitting there going through and you were trying to hit your sales goal. And
Mhm.
so we were talking about like what could you do? Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then I started asking you about PR boxes
Oh,
and
yeah.
about collaborations and all those sort of things, right? It was like in those, I don't know how long we talked. We probably talked for half an hour before we got on the plane, but it was in that 30-minute conversation that I was like, I have to be better about collaborating with other companies. And then it was, like a mixture of this glacier experience that there were other like-minded women, because I've been in business for a really long time. And Glacier was my first experience of understanding that there are like-minded women that really do want to work together. My experience in the, up leading up to that had been, I'd been trying to reach out to
Mm.
different
Yeah.
businesses and trying to get more collaborative expectations, but it just kept falling kind of on dead ears or people didn't have time for it. And I get
Yeah.
it, right? But it was in those 30 minutes that, and Princess had actually brought it up a couple times. And I was like, I don't know how we afford it. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how to afford these big, like the boxes, the, doing all these things. Anyways, it was in those 30 minutes that I was like, Linz can do it. She's basically doing it on her own. We have got to be better about collaborations and we've got to be more intentional with how we collaborate and who we collaborate with, right?
Yeah.
And then we had this pool of women that were like-minded and I was like, here is a group of women that we can start with our collaboration. So you are a huge part of kind of this podcast and
Oh,
and
cool.
just how we have kind of moved forward out of Glacier.
Yeah.
We do a giveaway collaboration with it. We try every single month to collaborate with other women with like-minded, not even brands. We don't even care if it's brands, but we all have the same
Yeah.
demographics,
Yeah.
right? And we all have customers that would absolutely benefit from one another's products and things. So, anyways, you are a large part of that. So, I want to talk and go back to you're a big believer in collaboration over
Oh,
competition,
yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
you really do have such an incredible. I mean, you're very competitive, but you found that balance also. Like it's an incredible balance that I feel like you've really kind of honed in on. Where did that mindset start? Because I don't think it's
Yeah.
I think for women, it's very hard for us to be collaborators. We want to compete with one another. That's just I don't know why,
Yeah.
it's our natural instinct. But you started out with
Yeah.
a collaborative mindset. So where did that start? Where did that come from?
So, 2 pieces. Just absolutely love working with other women that are like-minded, for one, but also it comes from a marketing mind too. I remember when I was in, like, high school reading something about marketing. I've always been drawn to that subject, and I remember them talking about how chain restaurants, they all will make sure that they are in the same boundaries together
Mm.
when they open up. So, like, when a McDonald's opens up, you'll also see Wendy's, you'll see Carl's Jr., you'll
Oh,
see
fascinating.
because if someone's going there to eat, they wanna have choices, or maybe sometimes mom wants to eat here, but kids wanna eat here. So they actually thrive better when they're together than
Interesting.
if McDonald's was 10 miles away from any other fast food restaurant. And so I remember thinking that was really awesome. So how do we kind of integrate that in our lives and my business specifically? And so from the beginning, I've always thought, how can we come together to make sure that like we just all help each other out? And there's even another company, a competitor of mine who's much bigger than me and definitely a direct competitor of mine that I've reached out to a few times to do a collaboration with. And because I'm not afraid of that, I really think that they're great at what they do and we're great at what we do. And there's room for everybody.
Hmm.
We're not going to have a shortage of moms breastfeeding anytime soon.
True.
And, they probably both love our brand. They love both of our brands. They love my brand for the Ally bra and they love their brand for whatever bra. And but they don't want to work with it because it very much is like I think too many people see it as a competition rather than
Hmm.
collaboration. And I genuinely know we would both do so well from a collaboration, but I don't know. It's just never really been. I honestly think the confidence of knowing that what I do is really good. And so obviously I would never want to collaborate with someone who directly like rips me off or tries to copy me. But a collaboration is really just knowing you're good at what you do, we're good at what we do. Let's combine forces.
Hmm.
And that's fun.
I love it. I love it. It's so powerful. Because when we compete, we think that we look at somebody else's success as a threat. But when we collaborate, we look at somebody else's success as proof that we can do
Yeah.
it too,
Yeah.
right? And that's a kind of a powerful shift.
I actually have something fun we're doing this year. We decided we wanted to collaborate. We tried it out last year in September with a company called Maybe Carriers. You may
I
have heard of
remember.
them.
Yeah.
But we reached out to them and we're like, "Hey, I have this really great idea. What if we did a joint press box?" And we've never done this before with like a brand. We've done it with like influencers, but like a brand we hadn't. So like, what if we do a joint press box and we theme it peanut butter and jelly, like best uh, little milk bar, and maybe go better. Like I can't
Go
remember how I
together
worded
like
it.
peanut butter and jelly.
Go together better than peanut butter and jelly. Oh my gosh, why is that
Yes.
so hard to say? But yeah, so we themed the whole box around that. And so in the box, we included one of their carriers. We included our Ally bra, which is our bestseller. And then they made a list of like 20 of their top affiliates and influencers and customers. We made made a list of ours too. And we sent it out to all of them. And then we also did a joint post where we gave away 20.
Hmm.
So I always want to give back to my community. Like a regular customer who's not an influencer, they normally would never get a PR box, but they're getting one. They
Yeah.
have the opportunity to get one. So then we did a giveaway together, and that was really beneficial. That was kind of our testing. So then we realized in 2026 we want to do one a quarter with a different brand. So we've got one coming up with Willow, and that one's going out next week. Willow is a hands-free pump. And then we have 3 other brands that I can't name, but we have solidified them too for the rest of the year. And I just think it's so fun.
It is fun. And that you told me about maybe when we were sitting there, and that's actually what we do. Is that's we're not working with influencers, but we are working with businesses,
Yeah.
and it's been wonderful. It's been really, really fun, and every month we do, a fun little PR box,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit tricky. We didn't realize this. This is something we learned with the influencer side of things, because if you don't have a super deep influencer list, like a couple
Yeah.
hundred, you
Yeah.
can't keep resending PR boxes to
Yeah.
the same.
So for that, you would want to um we keep a list. So we have a deep list, but we're constantly adding to it for
Mhm.
one. And then we have an affiliate list as well. And then we also have like top customer lists. So I feel
Yes.
like we haven't run into not having anyone to send out to because we focus a lot on our customers too.
Yeah.
And we don't care like if some of the influencers that we send to are so micro influencers. They have like
Right.
1,000 followers,
Right.
but we don't care.
Yeah, we
It
don't
really
care.
is just for fun.
I love it.
And I love being able to because we split the cost because it can get pricey.
Yes, and
So
you
then
told me
like
that too.
we go 50%
Mhm.
into the box, they go 50% in, and then we split the shipping fees as well.
Mhm.
And so, but
Yeah.
I make it easy for them there's no way they can say no. I literally present it to you like, I'm going to do all the work. I'll design all of the packaging. All you have to do is send me the product. I will package it and ship it. So they're getting so much clout for this.
Sure.
And I'm doing the work, but they're getting so much like feedback from it. You
Sure.
know, they get to go out in the world and say, oh, Willow sent me a press box, and
Yes.
so making it easy for them to say yes and not like they don't even have to lift a finger. Like that was the way I got in because a lot of these brands are way bigger than me.
Sure.
How
Sure.
can I get them to say yes to me? And it's like, let me do the work for them.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's been a wonderful experience for us too. It's been so fun to be able to glean off of your experience and make it
Yeah.
something special to us. So, what would you say to women who are scared that collaboration will somehow cost them?
I think, and this might be hard to hear, if you're afraid of that, then you're not confident enough in your own product.
Hmm.
And that is not a good thing. I think that you've got to be confident enough to know that it's different enough and that you can hold your own ground. You shouldn't ever be afraid of anybody collaborating with you because what you're doing is so great. And if you're not able to hype up your own product enough, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, and if you're worried about that, I always think a competitor of mine is always going to be one step behind me.
Mhm.
I will always be the one paving the way. I'm always going to be the one making the better bra. They can make a copy of it, but it's never going to be as good.
Mhm.
I'm always the one that comes out with it first. And if they have something different that they come out with first, then that's like their brand, not mine. And so our focuses are just different. I don't
Right.
know. I don't think that we should be worrying about that really.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, this is a what I have found in as we've interviewed women is we are all part of what's so important about supporting women-owned businesses to me is that I have not interviewed anyone nor talked to any woman-owned business that is not actively engaged in community service as well. We are 65% women business owners are 65% more likely to be actively engaged in community services, nonprofits, donating, all of those sort of things. We're just significantly more wired to do those sort of things.
Yeah.
And I remember I want to talk about Davis School, which is where you went to high school, right?
Kearns High School.
Oh, Kearns.
Yes.
Kearns. And your just what you have done or what you did with their basketball team. You remember? I don't want to
Yeah.
sell it out, but
Yeah.
I love that because it was so simple. It was early on in opening your business. You couldn't even probably justify the
Yeah.
cost of it. But I do think it's a very sweet message because it's a powerful message to remind that when we support women-owned companies, we are building communities
Yeah.
at the same time.
Well, like I said, I went to Kearns High, which is a very like low income area. I mean, it's like the ghetto of Utah. A lot of people don't even hear about it, but um it's a different place. Like when you think of Utah, I don't have the same experience as most Utah people. I'll just say it that way. And so sports played a huge role in my life and I know I would not be where I am today without it. And so the reason why I've wanted to be successful is so I could give back to my own community that made me who I am. And so the reason why I was even able to play softball is because an anonymous donor paid my fees every year from rec league all the way up to high school. And then same with basketball. And if somebody didn't do that, and I still to this day don't know who that person is, I would not be where I am today. So I remember thinking, when I'm successful, because I just kind of always knew that I would be because I wanted to be and work hard for it and just had the sense there that I wanted to get back into the same thing. And so I've made it my mission, like from the beginning when we started the Little Milk Bar, I do like sponsor an athlete every year. And obviously, the more the company grows, the more we're able to do. But it started with sponsoring one, and specifically a female, because obviously that's close to home for me. Um, And so I've done that from the beginning, but also with the Kearns High basketball team, a lot of the athletes there come from single income homes. A lot of them are single parent homes where their single parents are working 2, 3 jobs. A lot of the kids sometimes have the responsibility of watching their younger siblings. So there are times where they do have to miss practice because of that responsibility. And so, I mean, my friend Lacey, she's the coach there too now, which is really great. I play basketball with her there. And so we keep in contact and I get to hear a lot. And, I donate every year, but also they told me one specific year, this is probably what you're talking
Yep.
about, is the year prior to that, a lot of the girls' families were not able to come to the banquet. And that really broke my heart because that's if you don't play sports, at the end of the year you have a banquet and you kind of the coaches will give out awards and like kind of gloat you up, like hype you up how everybody worked so hard throughout the whole year and why you're great and why your daughter's so amazing. And if your parents are there to see it, it's kind of heartbreaking. It's the time where you get to feel good about yourself and your parents get to see what you accomplished. And so I heard that some of the parents couldn't come because each parent that came needed to pay a fee to be at the banquet to cover all the food, and they couldn't afford it. And so I was like, "Okay, the next banquet that you have, I'm gonna pay for the food." And I wanted to spice it up even more. I live in South Jordan and I see a lot of the athletes there in their end of year banquets and they're so over the top and look like so cool and they have these awesome things at their banquets. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So I wanted the Kearns girls to feel important. So we also got I think it was Swig
Mhm.
or so one of the companies, So Delicious, Swig, one of them, and we had them come do a soda bar, so I didn't wanna just, like, pay for their meal. I wanted them to, like, feel special and, like, have a soda bar for them, and we paid for the desserts and all of that, and yeah, I just feel like that's important that these girls feel accomplished and are able to bring in. I told them the whole family can come. Like, it doesn't matter how many people,
Mhm.
bring them. And that's just always been something that's been so important to me. And I can't wait to watch Little Milk Pork grow even more so I can do more.
I love it. I love it. That story, we were hiking actually when Lynn's told me that story, and we still remember. I got chills again, but I still remember thinking it's not about. Sometimes it's not about these massive, humongous donations. Sometimes it's about
Yeah.
filling the smallest needs, and when we fill the smallest needs, um, we help kids rise and they are affected by it in such a different way than we even recognize. But having, I remember you saying the girls were like, "Oh my gosh, like we got a swig bar, we got
Yeah.
like a soda, we got a drink bar." It was epic, right?
Yeah.
And it's in those little moments, and I find it fascinating because you were at Kearns, low income, but you had a coach that also expected you guys to be elite
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
not just athletes, elite people. And I wanted to kind of talk about that too of the importance of it doesn't matter. Economy should never matter with how we expect people to show up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And but we just need the people in our lives to set those expectations and provide opportunities for us to rise up and become the people that we
Yeah.
can become.
Yeah. The
As
support is so
It's
important.
so important. It's so important. So we're never going to change. We could talk
Okay.
about sports all day and the
Yeah.
importance of sports. If dinner time stresses you out, you're not alone. You're just busy. That's why I love Beehive Meals. Beehive Meals delivers fully prepped, family friendly freezer meals, say that 5 times, straight to your door. No chopping, no grocery runs, no decision fatigue. You just thaw, cook, and serve. It's real food made by real people, designed for real life. Busy nights, sports schedules, late meetings, Beehive Meals has you covered. Because feeding your family shouldn't steal all your energy. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is make it easier. You can check out Beehive Meals online, and trust me, your future self will thank you. Use code AmandaBean to save money on your next order. This year's a big year.
Yes.
And I've been watching your stories and you're coming up and you're going to be hopefully launching.
Yeah.
Well, one is a big year because your goal is to double revenue.
I know that sounds impossible.
No, it's not impossible. Nothing's
It's not.
impossible. You got to make God goals. If you
Yeah.
don't make God goals, what the heck are we doing it
Yeah.
for? Right.
Mhm.
But God goals, for those of you that haven't heard that before, is goals that you set that you can only accomplish it if God is in the details. So it proves to you, there's proof in it that like
Yes.
there's no way I could have done that on my own.
Yeah.
Thank you. But anyways, so you want double rev, but I think it's super exciting because you're looking at launching 5 new products.
Yeah.
Now tell me, because I think this is so important. You're got to have a little bit of faith in the first one because it's a rollout project, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about it.
So this is kind of like the domino effect with our 5 products that we're launching. So I am 100% owner. I don't have any partners. We don't have anyone investing in the Little Milk Bar. So everything that we've built has really just been like bootstrapping. And so I have 5 new products that I've secretly been working on for one of them I've been working on for 5 years. And they all happen to just collide and be ready for 2026. Our first one's launching in February, and they all are piggybacking off of each other. So the first launch has to do well enough for the second launch to come out, and then the second launch has to do well enough to fund the third launch, and so on and so on. So if one of those dominoes don't fall, if one of them doesn't do well, then it just pushes back the next launch. And so we're hoping to launch 5 products this year. That is the plan. But if one of them or 2 of them doesn't do well, we might have to push it over a 2-year period or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's been a little nerve-wracking. I can talk about the first product. Our first product launches in February. I mean,
I'm so excited.
We're still in January.
Yes, we're still in January. We won't. This will be a
yes.
Yeah.
So this is technically the first time I'm talking about this product, and it's actually 2. So we are coming out with a new postpartum set, and this is launching the middle or end of February. And it seems so simple, but also I'm like, how does this not exist yet? So basing it off of my own experience, I have 3 kids, and I was thinking about the time of after you give birth, you know, you get home from the hospital, your birth center, you get home and you're just naked. You're
Yes.
naked for a very long time. You don't want anyone to touch you almost. Your body's healing. You're still bleeding. Your mind is healing. Your emotions are healing. There is a lot going on. And then you get a text from a friend. Let me know when I can come see the baby. They're dying to come see you and the baby. They want to check in on mom. And then you're like, oh, I have to put something on.
I literally had a rule. I was like, the second you put real clothes on is when people expect you to be normal again. And I was like, I refuse to put real clothes on for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because the expectation changes.
Oh, that's way sooner than me. I was like months. I was months of like wearing my diaper and
fine,
like just a robe.
But it's true. You have to think about that. You got to be very careful with what you put on.
Yes.
Because if you look too good, people are like, "Oh, she's back.
Ready." Yeah,
she's ready." You're not even close to being ready. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, great. Okay, I have to get dressed now. But you go in your closet and you look at your jeans and you're like, yeah, no way. That's not even gonna. Your body's jello. You're so swollen. Your organs literally moved around for your baby, and you pushed it out, and you're just jello.
Yeah.
So, sure, there's loungewear and there's like postpartum wear, but I wanted to create something that was cute and didn't feel frumpy. I think a lot of stuff that is made for nursing moms or moms in general, just all of a sudden you're a mom now and it's boring and you just look like an old lady.
Mm-hmm.
So we are coming out with the cutest postpartum set. So the bottoms are a really cute, trendy boxer short.
Oh, cute. Yes.
But the things that make it special is the waistband. Normal waistband on like a boxer is like an inch or inch and a half. Our bellies are jello. So we've got like a 3.5 inch waistband that goes around and is very stretchy. So like after you take it off, you're not going to have those marks on your belly. It's not going to be really tight against you, and it's high enough that it will go above your C-scar. If you have a C-section, it won't irritate that. So it is going to be comfortable on your postpartum belly, which is important because your body is constantly changing from the time you find out you're pregnant to the time you give birth, and then clear after that.
Right.
So, but we also have a liner on the inside. So think of like a running short, how they have the liners on the inside.
Yes.
So it feels like a biker short inside. So I was thinking, you get dressed, you go sit on the couch, people are coming to visit you, you're wearing these cute boxers, but boxers are big. So when you sit down, people can see up your
Yeah, you're
shorts.
flashing everybody.
Yeah, you're flashing everyone. You're showing them, your hospital underwear that you're wearing, the mesh panties,
Right.
and then like the popsicle, like frozen popsicle pads that you're still
Yes.
wearing.
Yes.
And so then you're constantly moving around. You're already uncomfortable with your body and you just feel just not comfortable. So the shorts also have that liner inside with enough room in them for you to slide your pad in as
I
well.
love
So if
it.
you're still wearing your pads, you can wear it with that and it fits perfectly. And they are cute. They don't look like mom clothes. Like my daughter Allie, she's 13. She is obsessed with them and she's like, I can't wait till you come out with them because I want to wear them
Love
every
it.
day.
Yes.
Like it's
Yes.
not mommy.
It's kind of like the
mom.
Ellie bra.
Yeah. Yes.
Where's
she
my
wears
bra,
them.
Carols?
My daughter and all her friends wear them all the time.
Yeah.
And then it comes with a matching top. So the top is a tank top. It's kind of a fuse between our Alley bra and our Frankie tank.
Okay.
And so our Alley bra moms love so much because it doesn't look like a nursing tank, and nothing we do looks like a nursing anything. It
Mhm.
doesn't look like a nursing bra. Most nursing bras have the little clips right here,
Mhm.
and ours don't. And you can wear this long after breastfeeding. I'm still talking about the Alley bra, but I'm getting up to the new tank. So this new tank that goes with the postpartum set is a very soft and comfortable but stretchy and breathable tank top because again our bodies are constantly changing and you don't know what size you wear after you give
It's so
birth. You're like,
true.
I don't know, do I buy the size that I wore before or do I buy the
Right.
size I am now? This will fit, I promise. And then it has a shelf bra in it so you can fit your pads in there as well. So you don't have to wear a bra with it, especially postpartum. You really don't want to wear any bra with a wire. It can cause clogged milk ducts. It can like mastitis. It can cause a lot of problems. Don't want to wear anything wire. So having just a shelf bra in the tank so you don't have to wear regular bra is so important. But it has our signature snaps in the front. So you can, it is stretchy enough that you could probably pull your breast out. But if you are bigger busted, then you can just unbutton it and have plenty of room. But when you button it, it just looks like, again, my daughter and all her friends love them. They're
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah.
They would
Yeah.
never know that it was for a postpartum mom.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's what we're coming out
Oh,
with
I
in
love
February.
it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We have two colors, a pink version and then a blue version. And
Okay.
our plan is, as long as this does well, we did our MOQ, so minimum order quantity, the least amount, because again, we're bootstrapping all of this. So it's like we only can afford the smallest order.
Sure.
And as long as this does well, we will release more colors. And then it will also help launch our second product launch this year too.
How exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that to all kind of play out and it's going to be great. It's
Yeah.
going to be great.
It will. It will.
I'm so excited. I don't do New Year's resolutions right now. I wait until spring because I think this time of year is like the worst time to try to be inspired by this. Anyways, but you're a huge manifester. You love it. You have tons of energy behind it. And I want to know, how do you balance dreaming? Because you're also a realist. Like you're not fluffy.
No.
There's nothing fluffy about you. So you're very much a manifester, but you're also very much, you can't sit around and just think great things.
You
gotta
can't wish for a red bike and it's going to show up at
Right.
your door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how do you balance dreaming big while still staying grounded in family, community, and like grit, like work, the work aspects? How do you keep a balance of that?
So I don't lack in dreaming by any means. Like I really do feel like whatever I put my mind to, I can achieve. So like when I set that goal of like I want to double my revenue this year, I think every other business owner is probably looking at me like you're crazy. Like that's a huge goal. But I use manifesting as keeping me focused to be able to do the work. And so, for instance, every single morning, so I have this mantra that I say, and it is, I'm so lucky, everything always works out for me. And that's how I start my day. I say it several times throughout the day. When I sit down at my desk, I write that down I have a notebook next to me, and I write, I'm so lucky, everything always works out for me. And then underneath that, I write my revenue goal for the year. And then underneath that, I write the date. And then underneath that, I make a list of everything I need to do to get there. And then I make a list of what I need to do that day because they're different.
Sure.
Micro, macro, right? So I use manifesting as, because I truly believe in it. It's just my goal, basically. And the more times I say it over and over and over in my mind, the more my mind starts to make decisions on how to accomplish that goal. Because if it's in the back of my mind, I'm not making decisions based on how to accomplish that goal. But if it's constantly at the front, it is. So having the goal in front of me dangling like a carrot almost all day long every day is what makes me want to run. So that is like how I balance that. It's literally just seeing that the manifestation goal is there and doing everything in my power to make it happen because I will. I am very determined. I'm very gritty. If someone tells me I can't do it, I will find a way to make it work. I just maybe that's from sports too, but I just know it will work out.
I love
It has to,
Yes, I love it. It does have to.
Yeah.
What my favorite affirmation right now, I write it down every single day, is everything is already working out. Because it is.
Yeah, it all falls
Everything
into
is
place.
already working out.
Whether it works out the way that you think it will or
Right.
the way that the universe has it set for you. So I also have this other mantra that I'm introducing this year that says, your timing is always perfect.
Oh, I
And
like
that's
that.
helped me with the product launches this year because I take it as, okay, let's say one of them doesn't do well and we have to push back the next launch to next year. It was meant to be that way.
Yeah.
Next year, it's going to be even more of a success because the timing's going to be better.
Right. Right. Ooh, I like that one. Your timing is always perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great mantra. So that will you write that down every day too?
Yes. I am a very weird visual person. I'm so lucky everything always works out for me at the top of the page. And then I write down your timing is always perfect at the bottom of the page. And I don't know why.
It's because your timing is always perfect.
Yeah.
So if that's supposed to be at the end, that's supposed to be at the end. I love it. I love it. I want to finish with this. For women listening who feel like they're carrying a lot of layers, business owners, moms, partners, advocates, providers, what have you learned about honoring all of those without burning out? Because you do that. You do all of that.
Yes. And my husband's a stay-at-home dad. So I'm not going to go into this saying, we figure it out. I am very privileged to have a stay-at-home dad. He allows me to be able I went to an event last night. And if I didn't go to that event, I wouldn't have been able to network with this lady who helped me with something I had to do today. And so I think
you two chose together.
Yeah. So my husband, he worked forever. I mean, he worked in Hilton. He was a general manager. And then when I started the business, I quit my job to start the business. And I was at home cutting and sewing everything myself with the kids. And I remember him getting home and I said, there was one day where I told him, if I can get it this far while running the business and taking care of the kids, I can't imagine how much more I could do if I didn't have the kids. Will you quit your job? Give me 12 months and I promise I'll double my revenue. And we sat down as a family and he said, I believe in you. So I'm so thankful to have a partner like that. I know that's not, I feel like that's not always a given. And he said, let's do it. So he quit his job the next day and we more than doubled our revenue the next year. So I'm thankful for him to allow me to be able to do what I do. So I wouldn't be there without it. So if you're trying to juggle everything, you can't. Therapy has tremendously helped me because I don't feel like I have to manage it all anymore. There are days where I fail at being a mom, and that's okay because 9 out of 10 days I don't. There are days where I fail as being a boss, and that's okay because 9 out of 10 days I don't. I mean, there was a day last week where it was a tough day. I was managing a lot at home. My husband needed help. I had to leave early. It wasn't ideal. My daughter had hurt her arm. We thought she fractured it, had to take her to the emergency room. And I was a little short with my team that day. I think we need to talk about this more too, because I don't think enough people talk about it. But we're not always a perfect boss. And I think just owning it and learning from it and moving forward. So the next day I, chatted with my team. I sent them a message on Slack and everyone. I'm like, hey, I apologize for being short with everybody yesterday. I was carrying more than I'm used to, but thank you for having patience with me, And so I think just on the times where we drop the balls is just recognizing it first and giving yourself grace and then owning it and moving forward. That's
I
it.
love it. I love it. It's wonderful, wonderful advice. So what is one habit you swear by?
One habit I swear by: manifesting. Writing down your goals every day. Like
Love it.
I won't go a day without it. I have to have that in the front of my mind constantly, all day, every day. If I don't, that's when I start moving away from my goal.
Love it. One thing you wish you would have known earlier.
One thing I wish I would have learned earlier. I feel like there's so many. So like let me think. I wish I knew that not everybody knew what they were doing. When I first started my company, I remember seeing so many people online that were like me, women business owners started, especially here in Utah. There's so many successful women.
Mhm.
And I just remember looking at them and thinking like, oh my gosh, like they're so cool. Like they know what they're doing. Like how did they grow this business to be so big? And now they like have these multi-million-dollar businesses.
Yeah.
I just want to sit in a room with them and learn everything. And the more I started to grow and were able to go to networking events and meet these women, the more I realized nobody knows what they're doing.
It's so
No
true.
one.
No one.
Like,
I know.
we-
It's so funny. that made me laugh. No one knows.
I love that you're laughing
It's so
because it's so
funny.
true.
It's
And
so
like I
true.
have friends that are starting businesses now, and I think that's the biggest thing is like no one knows what they're doing. Because sometimes they'll reach out to me for advice even, and I'm like, I would do XYZ, but don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not in your industry, so I don't care about your industry as much as you do.
Mhm.
So you have to do what feels right, like,
Yeah.
and not everybody, even if they're successful, they're not always doing it the right way either. That's why there are people that are like Poppy, who just sold for 2 billion because they did something different than
Right.
anyone else did, and they
Right.
branded it different than if they would have listened to everybody that ever told them gave them advice, they would not have ended up where they are.
Right.
So I think just knowing that like even the people you idolize, they don't know what they're doing.
So good. Okay. One way women can support women better.
Mm, Collaboration over competition all the time.
Love it.
I think never looking at someone and putting them on such a pedestal to think that you will never be like you just think, oh, they're so successful, they know what they're doing. And the moment that you start to think that you couldn't do that is when you start to have even a small amount of animosity.
Right.
Like instead of being able to cheer each other on and be like, oh my gosh, what you are doing, you're doing it so well. You're so awesome. And I just have to do a plug here. Mackenzie Bauer from Thread Wallets is the epitome of that.
Mhm. I agree with you.
I don't know how many times she has messaged me and said, you should apply for this. You should apply for this. I applied you for this award. She is constantly
Mhm.
thinking of other people, and I have never met anyone as open as her. I remember the first time I was nervous to ask her about marketing. I needed someone to take over my email marketing, and like a lot of people gatekeep crap. They
Yeah.
don't like to share. I
Right.
think it's very odd.
I know.
I'm
There's
not
one
like
thing that
that.
still surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm such an open book. I'm
Yeah.
happy to help. And Mackenzie was like, "Oh yeah, this is who we use. This is her number. This is how we do it. This is how many emails we send out a week. This is," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is what it's supposed to look like."
Right. I love it. I love it. One layer of your life you're currently nurturing.
My relationship with my husband. He does so much for me, and I think as business owners, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. Your business kind of comes first a lot,
Mhm.
especially when you're growing it at the beginning and you're trying to hit some goals. I think trying right now, it's been really great being able to nurture that relationship with my husband to ensure him that like you're still important,
Mhm.
but we also have these other big goals.
Yeah.
And so I need to be better at um, acknowledging that
Yeah.
more, because I do think about business a lot. I do want to talk about it all the time. And he does too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like we both do. But we both need to realize that like that can't be our only topic of conversation. So
Mhm.
we're really trying to nurture that. And we've been doing therapy for about a year now together, and it has been like so life changing. It's been
So
amazing.
awesome. That is so incredible. One thing you're excited about right now. I think we already touched on that.
My 5 new products that will come. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, Lindsay, thank you. Not just for what you've built, but for how you have built it. It's inspiring and it's a beautiful thing. Your story is such a powerful reminder that success doesn't have to come at the expense of community, and that when women support women intentionally, everyone rises. To our listeners, support women owned brands, share their stories, collaborate boldly, because her life is layered and her influence can change the world. Mwah.